Mark, I've got something interesting for you. Call me back.
Stephen, I have questions.
Celebrity Tumor presents Delivery.
Exit interview with Marilyn. Research assistant to Dr. Sergei Bruknenko, 1998 through 1999. Confirmation of details of non-disclosure agreement and full debrief interview conducted by personnel manager Cindy on behalf of the Institute.
Thank you, Marilyn. Please have a seat.
Sure.
As previously stipulated, this is being recorded, also covered in the NDA. Any questions before we begin?
How long is this going to take? I have a flight.
In my experience, under an hour, tops.
Right then.
Shall we begin?
Sure.
Can you describe, for the record, the original scope of the study?
Surely that's on file.
Indulge me.
Sure. We were focused on a recent uptick in cases of alexithymia. Specifically, sudden onset alexithymia. The subjects curiously arose from reports by loved ones and not by themselves. Also, at times, from their GP. We've been inundated with reports of perplexing somatoform disorders from local clinics.
Is that unusual? The subjects weren't the initial contact points.
Yes. Let me be clear here. They did submit to the study voluntarily. No one was coerced.
No accusations of wrongdoing or negligence here, Marilyn. You were cleared by the review committee.
For the record, to use your own words, we were attempting to ascertain the pathogenesis of this.
You were unable to confirm a singular disorder persisting in all subjects?
Yes, if we're comfortable defining a disorder by omission.
How do you mean?
I'd never seen EQ test results like that.
IQ tests?
EQ. Emotional quotient. They were all pretty sharp, from average to slightly above. No, we weren't interested in that per se.
How would you describe Dr. Bruknenko's mythology?
Unorthodox would be understating it. I don't know, a pastiche of orthodoxy? He was creative.
Any merit to it in your assessment?
Sure, I could see merit. The conclusion was clear enough, wasn't it?
But you reported a concern to compliance.
For all the good it did. Yeah, I was worried. That was around the time he started the broadcasts.
You knew about them?
No, not at the time, that is. But as I'm sure you know, that report had nothing to do with the broadcasts.
Breach.
That's right. I got worried when he brought those biochemists in from the University of did. I mean, the Institute has its own, right?
They would have reported it.
Sure, I figured that. You can see why it made me uneasy. Why the hell would you bring biochemists into a psychopathology study?
You're talking about the hypothesis.
Getting to that, yes.
Let's take our time.
Under an hour, right?
Can almost guarantee it.
Sure. Anyway, he was convinced of a physical origin. Took hair, skin, and blood samples. His mood changed considerably once the results came back.
What was your role during this time? You're not a biochemistry tech, if my understanding is accurate.
Nothing past undergrad. I mean, I know my stuff, but I'm a clinical psych D. It definitely isn't my field.
Any idea why they were brought in? It is extraordinary to take such a risk.
We had to run PET and fMRI scans during the testing phases. Something in that data agitated him.
What?
Still not sure precisely, but this was around the time he started staying late. I'd sometimes find him asleep when I arrived the following morning, clear he'd never left. There'd be those scans and the subject files scattered around him.
The notebook?
That came soon after.
Do you know where it is?
I presume safely in his arms. Have you checked the Caymans?
For the record, can you summarize the contents of the notebook?
Not really. I only got glimpses. It kind of looked like a scrapbook. Maniacal. Collage of those scans and some formula from the biochemistry boys. And there was the logistics bit.
Yes, that.
The beginning of the end. Sure. That is when he went full Phil.
Phil?
Marlowe.
I don't follow.
Philip Marlowe. Read much, Cindy?
Yes, the Bible. Have you gotten straight with Jesus, Marilyn?
For fuck's sake. He put on his detective hat, dug deep into those subject files, found something, got obsessed.
Obsessed with what?
Umbrella. He was connecting dots.
You mean a corporate umbrella?
Exactly.
For the record, can you recall the names of these companies?
Something like did shipping or courier services. There was also some magazine articles on the media conglomerate. I remember that.
Anything else?
Sure. Heaps of photographs pasted alongside the articles and chemistry bits. He mumbled a lot.
About?
Mostly about how it was all linked. Those logistic entities, the cases of alexithymia, and the biochemical anomalies. There was also this location in Kentucky he was interested in.
The Nefer Aries Hinge Factory.
Yes. What is that?
I'm not at liberty to say, Marilyn. Compliance vetters and all that.
Sure.
You okay?
Bit woozy. Let's get on with it.
Water?
Sure. Thank you.
Better?
Sure.
You requested an early termination of your contract. We don't see that often.
The germ was the outside intrusion. But the obsession with those logistics outfits culminated in my finding several photographs he'd printed of what were clearly physical visits. He was spying on them.
Time to pack.
Maybe you should interview compliance.
You reported it.
I was beginning to worry no one actually works in compliance.
Here.
Excuse me.
Do you need a moment?
I don't have a moment. Flight.
Right. The photographs.
Sure, they were...
Marilyn? Marilyn? 01700, October 13th, 1997.
Now, the documentation is fragmented at best. The redacted courier company operated in and around the Old Dominion from the mid to late 90s. Now, these fuckers had deep pockets and even deeper marrow. Pretty difficult to confirm the date of establishment. Also, they seem to be owned by a parent company. Shell? Don't know. Still looking into it. Anyway, talk soon.
Delivery is a podcast distributed by Celebrity Tumor and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike international license. For information pertaining to the episodes, cast list and attributions, please visit deliverypodcast.com.
If you've enjoyed this content, please tap on the subscribe button. We'd love to hear from you, so any comments you leave will be appreciated. If you'd love to hear from us, please tap the little bell for notifications.